We're ready for the second debate of the day and the fourth debate in the Tournament of Champions. I beg to differ. National Tournament of Champions, the students' debate. It's a journey that takes us closer and closer to picking the one champion of champions. This second debate pits two really exciting debaters. You'll meet them in just a minute. Let me say welcome to the first of the two debaters. Her name is Chimerenme Eberebe. She's 14 years of age. She's an SS1 student of Valyd Modern School, Abuja. Chimerenme joins this debate. Her opponent is Mary Ashia. She's aged 15. She's an SS3 student of Wellspring College. Their journey to this stage saw Chimerenme win 2 of 3 debates, getting her a seat at the table. For Mary Ashia, her journey to the regional championship of season 6 of the I Beg to Differ Students Debate Tournament saw her go through 5 debates, slaying everyone in her path. She's back here today in the Tournament of Champions. Welcome to this debate.
The topic, okay, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, allow the youngsters, they are furiously scribbling away, so let's let them.
And while we do that, Nigeria, here is the topic for the hour.
Just before you do the topic, Yvonne, a quick reminder that we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you had joined the initial live stream for the first debate, that connection will not serve you. You have to refresh. There is a new feed up. A new feed up. Okay? So if you are still seeing Bernard and, of course, Adenike, then you have to move away from that feed. Look for new faces. You see the faces of Mary and Chimerenme. That is the new feed for the second debate of the night.
Okay. The topic for this hour is censorship a necessary tool for maintaining social order or a violation of free speech? One of them will say yes, censorship is a necessary tool for maintaining social order. The other would say no, it's a violation of free speech. Who will argue? Either side is yet to be decided, but we will get to that in just a moment.
Our judges are Chief Judge Dr. Chike Ngbaji Iche, Judge Ama Basi Akove, Judge Ufoma Egbamuno, Judge Elizabeth Michael, and of course, moderator and diction judge Yvonne Okhaifo. It would seem, give our digital team a brief moment. Tunde, are we good? Are we live? Brilliant. Okay, we'll just allow a quick few seconds before we go straight into the presentation rounds. Perhaps it's an opportunity to start our usual ritual.
That's correct. Mary and Chimerenme, you were told to prepare for both sides of the topic, right? Good. Now, were you not told? Why did you give me the bombastic side eye?
Yes, we were told.
Of course you were told. Don't give me that eye. All right. Now we are going to decide what side either of you will debate today.
So the ritual is in process. One of these two debaters will pick a piece of paper leaving the other one for the other, and then we'll determine who votes for or against.
I see Mary smiling. Why is Mary smiling that way? Mary, what side did you pick?
I am the government.
You are. Now I understand why she's smiling. Lagos, Nigeria, Abuja, Port Harcourt, wherever you're listening from. Mary is smiling because during her debates in season 7, she argued majorly on the side of the government.
Yeah.
To Mary, the government is the opposition. While Chimerenme is saying yes. Is that what you're saying?
No,
What are you saying?
I am with the people opposing censorship.
Okay, you are opposing censorship. You are supporting censorship. So Mary is saying yes. Chimerenme is saying no. Well, you will hear a lot of the government
So once again,
in her debates.
the government strikes.
The government strike. So when you hear Mary say the government, know that she is saying we, the government, we are in support of it. We say yes to that. And when you hear Chimerenme say the people, maybe she will say we, the people. We do not know yet. We will find out soon. You know that she is the one saying no, it is a violation of free speech. You know the rules already, but I'd like to point something out, something important. During your rebuttal rounds, you are to first refute your opponent's points before adding extra points if you have them. If you have extra points to add, you must first refute your opponent's points, okay? If you do otherwise, you will be penalized for doing so. Is that clear, ladies?
Yes.
Okay. Do we give them more time or should we just go right into the competition?
I think we're ready.
Okay.
We are 28 minutes late into this second debate. We might as well get to it.
All right. Well, here we go. The government will start. The government in this case is Mary Uke Ashia. Mary is going to say that censorship is a necessary tool for maintaining social order. Mary, the government. You have 3 minutes to open your argument, and those 3 minutes start now.
Whether self-imposed, socially negotiated, or an outcome from a formalized structure, society largely thrive by instituting and upholding limits to harmful speech. Adjudicators, moderator, my co-debater, and the audience. My name is Mary Ash, and I'm here to argue that censorship is a necessary tool for maintaining social order. First, contextual validity. Limiting free speech threatens peaceful coexistence is usually contextually tailored to the unique realities of a country. Singapore's Sedition Act and Rwanda's 8th Law, 2002, are respectively responses to deadly religious riots and brutal ethnic cleansing. These measures are necessary so long as grieving Rwandans do not have to witness another such genocide. Also, censorship laws are legally grounded and clearly defined. In Nigeria, the Constitution and specific laws like Section 24 of the Cybercrimes Act 2015 and the proposed hate speech bill meticulously outline the boundaries of free speech, preventing hate speech and defamation with clear definitions and safeguards in place to avoid abuse. Such measures minimize arbitrary enforcement and organize social order. Moving on, Nigeria's collectivist culture, where collective needs outweigh individual desires, sees censorship as reinforcing collective values by curbing speech that could disrupt social harmony. Social order, in this view, stems from collective conscience rather than catering to individual whims. In addition, limits as preconditions for promoting the rights of the majority. Censorship violates the paradox of individualism, where unchecked free speech can harm others and violate the right to life. Our freedom of speech ends where another's right to life begins. Without censorship, we face those who demand freedoms, yet deny them to others. In addition, Nigeria's censorship laws aligns with international standards such as the ICCPR and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. This balance between social order and free speech shows that Nigeria is interested in creating censorship as a legitimate tool for maintaining stability on the global sphere. Additionally, institutional and judicial oversight in Nigeria ensures that censorship laws are transparent and people can seek redress. Independent bodies like the Nigerian Press Council and the National Human Rights Commission ensures accountability, fostering public trust. Judicial oversight further strengthens this by allowing individuals to actually challenge censorship decisions, as seen in cases such as that of Buhari versus Chief of Defense Staff promoting social order. Next, unlimited tolerance can lead to the erosion of tolerance itself. But if it allows the proliferation of harmful or insensitive views. Society must sometimes limit free speech to protect our core democratic values. What else is there to a people-centered mode of governance, if not civic bargaining? Citizens collectively empowered to shape rules that govern them for their collective good. Next, speech isn't just an expression of ideas. It is an action with real-world consequences that can cause harm or violate social order. Limits must be put in place to ensure that individuals are accountable for the impact of their actions. They are accountable for the impact of the words. As the saying goes, everyone has the right to free speech, but not the right to freedom after speeches that outrageously shock the conscience or offend decency and fairness that define society. Finally, Nigeria's history justifies censorship to prevent social order. 5 decades after the Civil War, we are still dealing with this problem now.
A round of applause will be in order, don't you think?
Well, Chimerenme, you will now get 3 minutes to open your argument as well.
Britannica defines censorship as the suppression and prohibition of speech, writing, or any other form of media deemed unsuitable by the common good. In the growing age of technologies, democracies has argued the need to censor information and curb crimes and maintain order. But the implementation of censorship in many countries, especially African countries and Nigeria, has involved draconian approaches such as arresting and harassing journalists, blocking internet connectivity like we saw in this recent time, and removal of online content completely. These threaten the freedom of speech, Section 39 and Section 22 of the Nigerian Constitution. That is why Chimerenme Eberebe opposes the motion that censorship is a necessity for maintaining social order. I see it as a violation of free speech. Let's get into it. Censorship promotes a culture of fear. Censorship is subjective and prone to abuse. Censorship is not a solution for addressing the ills that existed. Censorship stifles dissenting voices. Censorship prevents whistleblowers. Censorship suppresses rights of the people. Censorship undermines trust. Censorship undermines democracy. Censorship creates an extensive censorship can lead to resentment and impacts mental health negatively. Okay, censorship creates a culture of fear where people are not freely able to express themselves. Censorship creates a culture of fear and self-censorship where people are afraid to express themselves freely in case of retribution and criticism by the countries. Take China and North Korea, for instance. You can't get up and say what you want to say unless you be put into prison. Censorship is subjective and prone to abuse. Censorship is called subjective and prone to abuse because it's based on personal opinions, not facts. The censors and the government can come up with the purpose, can use censorship to pursue personal and political agendas and not what is right for the people. Censorship is also called prone to abuse when it is used as a means to control people, as we are seeing in this recent age where nobody is allowed to protest against anything. Censorship is not the solution to addressing the ills that existed before the internet or before the information age came to order. So it is not the solution, it's not a way of addressing it. Censorship stifles dissenting voices by silencing alternative perspectives and people who disagree with them. The government can silence anyone who does not see their views. Censorship prevents whistleblowers from reporting abuses of power and letting abuses go and power abuses go unchecked. Censorship prevents whistleblowers, in this case, that they cannot report what is going on in the society or what the government is trying to do unless they shall face punishment. Censorship suppresses rights of the people. Like I said, censorship goes against the freedom of speech, Section 39 and Section 22. Censorship is a suppression.
All right. That's the presentation round. The opening comments for Chimerenme Eberebe. She's 14 years of age. She's an SS1 student of Valyd Ella Modern School in Abuja. Her opponent will have, well, again, you heard the opponent earlier on. Both of them will have opportunities for rebuttals after the first round. And we also were taking note. Remember, you can vote for either of these debaters. You may have made up your mind already. We will implore you to perhaps hesitate a little bit Let's get through the rebuttal rounds. And once you've made up your mind as to who you are convinced is the better debater, you may make your decision known through our social media handles, where I guess we are voting on X, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
As well as on YouTube. I'm not sure of Facebook, but we have all those debates. Follow the live stream. It's on Facebook and, of course, on YouTube. We'll come back to that in just a bit.
That's correct. Now we will go straight to the rebuttal rounds. And for this round, we will revert to the motion opposer. Chimerenme, you will now get 3 minutes to refute your opponent's points. And those 3 minutes start now.
Welcome. I still remain Chimerenme Eberebe, the voice of the people. Welcome back to this opposing side of the house. My opponent, which I very well hold in high esteem.
Chimerenme, I'd have to tell you to please put on your headphone and then speak directly into the microphone, please. I am restarting your clock, so do not worry, you haven't lost any time, okay? Speak directly into the microphone so that everyone can hear you. All right? Now, your time will restart.
I remain Chimerenme Eberebe, the side of the people. Welcome back to the opposing side of the house, and I'm here to rebut what my opponent said. My opponent mentioned something about historical evidence of how censorship was around. Although censorship was around, it was found in authoritarian societies, and we can also trace it back to the military times of Nigeria, where no one could come out and say what they wanted or say what they think the government is doing. They did not have the freedom to say what they think is wrong and what they think is good for them. My opponent said that it does not violate human rights. In what way it doesn't violate human rights? Censorship in Nigeria and in other countries does violate human rights, but in a way that countries could be able to balance it. But do you know the hardest thing to do? Balancing between free speech and censorship and social order. Censorship in countries is a violation of human rights, because I say this way, that when people are not allowed to say what they want to say because of the government limits it, the government do not help them say what they want. Thereby, it is a violation of human rights, free speech to be exact. You said that we could the Human Rights Commission, where we think that we can go in court and they hear what we want to say. If that's the case, how come people are arrested for opposing this government that you hold in high esteem? How come people are being arrested? How come journalists are being arrested? How come countries and people feel oppressed and frustrated? Take this recent protest, for example. Although it really didn't do any much, it really didn't have much moving on. Even though this recent protest, you saw people shouting and yelling and expressing their frustration because they couldn't do it for fear of the government. You said something about contentional validity, about the unique society and the unique democratic places. This unique thing is what helps us move on. Take the Biafra War. Because it's suppressed, people don't know the real story, and people are still blaming us Igbos. I am an Igbo person, and everyone still blames us for betraying our nation. But if there was no censorship, we could come together and critically think of a way to move past this whole situation. Collective cultures, that is what is killing Nigeria of today, because everyone thinks that everyone thinks that their people in government is going to help. Take this Tinubu now. Everyone who was supporting him is now against him. Why? Because he's not helping us, because he's suppressing our rights to say what we want. You said thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Remember, you can add,
you can land if you're in.
You can land.
If the bell goes while you are mid-sentence, you can land. Okay. Thank you very much.
Well, it is time for Mary Ashia to refute her opponent's argument. Mary, you have 3 minutes, and those 3 minutes start now.
Pardon me, we are resetting your clock. Pardon me, it's on me.
That is much better. Please put on your headphones so that you can monitor. It's a bit too loud. I think that can be worked on, I think. Let's see. All right, then. Well, Mary, you have 3 minutes, and your 3 minutes starts now.
All protocols duly observed. Section 15 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights tells us that a country is actually justified to institute limits to free speech when it is when it's for the purpose of protecting the rights of the citizens and maintaining national security and social order. The opposition team comes up here accusing censorship of violating free speech, but fails to actually understand the fact that the problems mentioned are simply problems of institutions. So if the opposition team is genuinely concerned about the free speech of its citizens of the people, then why not fix the institutions, then come back and talk to us about censorship? The opposition tells us about the culture of fear, but censorship didn't create that culture of fear. Censorship was merely an attempt to solve that problem. And you cannot blame censorship for creating a culture of fear that we never even started. You mentioned power abuses going unchecked, but let us be honest with ourselves. The problem of power abuses going unchecked is simply a problem of institution, as I have stated previously. The opposition team cherry picks incidents by giving us model examples of China and North Korea, which let us remind ourselves are not necessarily democratic countries. So how exactly are they the model examples for censorship? These countries do not actually implement censorship with the aim of protecting the rights of the citizen. Why not use countries like the United States of America? Why not even use Nigeria and the censorship laws that we've used, like Section 15 of the Cyber Crimes Act 2015 and the proposed hate speech bill? Why not use these things? You mentioned historical evidence, but let's not be honest. Historical evidence in Nigeria actually validates the reason why we have these things now. Let's look at it concisely. With over 500 languages, over 250 ethnic groups, a country as delicately diverse as Nigeria requires us to actually establish limits to free speech so as to reduce the cases of potential large-scale unrest. It took just an unchecked, insensitive Facebook post to plunge India into chaos in 2017. Can you imagine what would happen in Nigeria today? The opposition tells us also brings up the point on democracy, how this affects democracy. But then, is it really democracy when people are free to just say whatever they want? Whatever you want to say may be harmful to others. So is the opposition then telling us that so far you have the right to say whatever you want, you have the right to harm others, to affect their right to life? Because our freedom of speech ends where another's right to life begins. Other points which I would like to actually bring up is the fact that censorship fosters market stability. We have not forgotten the false 2019 social media report on Jeff Bezos' health status. Let's say temporary 30% drop in Amazon stock prices. Community notes like on X help maintain market stability and protect economic interests, thereby promoting social order. Also, the absolutist view of free speech can unintentionally, which is what the opposition team actually supports here, can unintentionally protect harmful speech, undermining the very freedoms it seeks to defend. Like two sides of a coin, the right to free speech must come with the responsibility of understanding its limits, weighing its benefits against potential harms in specific context, which is something that the opposition team has not actually told us, because the opposition team would want us to believe that individuals should be allowed to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Woo. All right then.
Rebuttal round.
Done and dusted.
Done and dusted.
It is time for the closing arguments. I guess at this point we'll give them a minute break, perhaps.
A bit of a breather.
Mm-hmm.
It's also an opportunity for us to tell you, as a reminder, if you haven't voted yet, follow our live stream. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. The closing arguments are about to follow. It's possible that some may have made up their mind by now. The judges, on the other hand, are scoring round by round. So we'll see how this debate goes in the end. Special thanks to all our judges. Special thanks as well to our host institution, Chrisland Schools, and of course our catering partners, Olaya Foods and Catering, our flight partners, Call to Fly, who ensured some of these students who needed to fly in, got here in time for this debate. Remember, you can be part of the Beg to Differ Students Debate Tournament of Champions, the national finals. All you need to do is reach out to us, sponsor, a partner in any way you want to participate, including if you have special gifts and presents for the debaters. We will welcome that and more. info@nigeriainfo.fm, not .com. info@nigeriainfo.fm. M. The first prize winner in this debate will go home with 1 million for the second place finisher, and third place finisher will go home with 500,000 naira.
Well, that said, it is time to go straight into the closing rounds of the debate. We will revert to the motion supporter. The government, Mary Ashia, will now close her argument. Mary, you have 3 minutes to do so.
All protocols duly observed. In 2017, an East Asian country, Myanmar, the Buddhist majority spread false Facebook posts accusing the Garanga minority of terrorism. In response, the Myanmar military stepped in. Thousands of lives cut short. Arsons released at unexpected rates. Many vulnerable young women raped. And over 700,000 forced to flee to neighboring Bangladesh. The United Nations tagged this situation as ethnic cleansing. To the opposition team, this is free speech. This is what they expect us to accept as free speech. From the start of this debate, our position as the government has been clear. We say that we prioritize national security, public order over free speech. On the basis of this, we argue for contextual validity as against disregard for international commitments, because we say that every situation is unique, and therefore whatever solution we are providing is for the benefit of the masses, which is why we say bring up censorship, and then we are here to protect the masses. We say, as against idea suppression, we advocate for legal definitions of this censorship. We're not just telling you we're going to just censor your rights. No, we are actually giving you the laws. We're giving you a guideline to how you're going to get your search, and actually know that we are not coming up here to just come on here and violate your rights. We are saying that we are here for society. We are not just here to come and tell you that no, we want to just take your rights. That is not what the government team today is doing. The government team today is here to tell Nigerians that we have rights, and that we as the government understand these rights. Hence why we call for censorship, because we understand that free speech is not absolute, and therefore we understand the need to protect everybody in society, not just an individual, not just one person who believes that their rights are so important that they should have the power to say whatever they want to say. No, we do not agree. Today we come up here and we stand for the majority. We stand for the average Nigerian. Another thing we are also doing on here is the fact that we are understanding the realities of our people. The National Bureau of Statistics knows that over 62% of Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. How can the opposition justify to an average Nigerian woman with children who hasn't even found food to eat? How can she justify that to them, that she should go and be fighting for free speech when she hasn't even eaten? The government today is coming up to say that we are advocating for censorship as a means to protecting all Nigerians, to protecting our rights to be citizens, our right to life, which free speech violates. In order for Nigeria to not be what happened in Myanmar, in order for our citizens to still live, after all, it is those who are living that can advocate for their rights. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Case rested. That is 15-year-old Mary Ashia, SS3 student of Wellspring College. It's now time for the closer of our opponent, 14-year-old Chimerenme Eberebe. She's an SS1 student of Valyd Modern School in Abuja.
That's right. Chimerenme, you now have 3 minutes and your time starts now.
National security, national security, national security. How does censorship promote national security? Do you mean by oppressing voices? Do you mean by arresting people? Do you mean by not listening to the voices of us the Nigerians, of us the citizens of these countries that government rule? How does it promote national security? This Nigeria that you hold so dearly is an example of how this whole idea of national security is just making Nigeria a place of chaos. Because everyone is like, okay, this censorship is supposed to promote national security by avoiding topics. How? We need to come together and reason critically. My name is remains Chimerenme Eberebe, the voice of the people. As we wrap up this debate, I want you to know that I'm supporting the rights of the people. I'm here to say that free speech is what we. I'm here to oppose that censorship is a necessary tool for maintaining social order. I see it as a violation of free speech. It is not our fault, the institution you blame, that they are the reasons why our countries are like this. Let me tell you that these institutions you blame answer to the government, not the people. They don't answer to us. They listen to the voices of the people. And I once talked to a journalist who told me that their news is censored, that everything is censored, because they can't just say what the people want them to say. That is where a balance comes in. But this balance is not easy to maintain because the government is not giving us a voice. It's not giving us a place for where we can draw a balance between it. So this 89.9% of people believe that they engage in self-censorship because of intimidation. Intimidation because of other people's experience is what they don't want for themselves. Other people's experience is what they don't want to fall into. That is why they engage in self-censorship. Not because they just don't want to talk. We want to talk. We want to express ourselves, but we can't express ourselves. In reality, this censorship that you support is not really helping us. We can't seem to draw a balance because of countries are either too free or countries are either too stiff. Where do we draw a balance between these two things? Where? Answer me, where? This Nigeria you examine is not free. Is not free entirely because we are still under this government who rule us with an iron fist, who do not want to hear our voices. Take this Tinubu for instance. The removal of subsidy has been going around for decades, but Tinubu just entered power one day and removed it against the will of Nigerians, against what we were protesting. Look at this Nigeria, this Naira that has fluctuated because they don't want to listen to us. They don't want to hear us out. They don't want us to come together and stop this train. Thank you so much.
What a heated and spirited debate this evening.
And I can say thank you too. Thank you very much for the output, for the effort. And yes, day 2 has turned up the heat in the 2 debates we've seen here today. In the earlier debate, we did see Adekwetu Adenike and Etumi Bernard Samuel. In the end, Adenike prevailed. Bernard Samuel lost that one. Mary Uke Ashia up against Chimerenme Eberebe. Second debate of the day and 4th in the series. Soon we'll find out who has prevailed in this opening debate, but we've got to say thank you to both of you for bringing the fire to this debate. And there was some fact-checking being done as the debate progressed to try and see whether some of the information put out were accurate, and it pleases me to say in the instance I've seen, factually the information put out has been correct. That said, there were some problems here and there. Yvonne has taken note and you will hear from her in just a bit. We urge you, if you are following this debate, this broadcast, from wherever on your radio or online at Nigeria Info, please vote for either of these debaters. You can vote through the X, formerly Twitter, through our platform there. You'll see the vote. Just refresh, go to the top of our handle, Nigeria Info. That's Nigeria Info FM, right? Yes, at Nigeria Info FM. You cannot miss it. And also search for us on YouTube and on Facebook. Search for the live stream. Follow the live stream and, of course, drop your vote. Special thanks to all our technical guys who've made it work today. Again, we'll come back to them in just a bit. And also for all who have dropped us comments, we've followed many of those comments just before this debate. One of our friends had asked when they would get to meet Mary. Yes, that has been answered. So thank you very much for all these comments. We'll take some of them while we have some time as the judges prepare their scorecard. In the meantime, first, let's start with Judge Yvonne, who paid attention to diction, your use of language, and as is the case for non-native speakers of any language, there would be infractions. Even the native speakers make errors when they speak. So if infractions are noted, it takes nothing away from you, your quality. Bear that in mind, but just bear them in mind. Some of these infractions, you already know them. Sometimes it's just one of those things in rapid speech or just moments of laziness, and it happens to the best of us.
And in such times, you should quickly correct yourself.
Yes, where you pick it.
When you pick it.
Sometimes when you have a combination of nerves, pressure, and of course speed, concentration on timing, it may be difficult to pick it. So if you pick it, correct it right away so that it's not noted against you. But for some of these infractions too, it's a learning opportunity. Some of those words, you've probably called them or used them in ways that are inaccurate, and you'll get a chance to learn the correct thing. Here we go.
So first of all, I'd like to start with Mary. Well done again. This is you say cleansing, okay? Not cleansing. It is cleanse. All right, not cleansing, but cleansing. And it is freedom. All right. Freedom is freedom. It is the act of being free. Therefore, you do not say freedoms. Okay. It's mostly freedom for much of the time. Then you should pay attention to your subject-verb agreement, because you made a few mistakes here and there in that regard. So pay attention to your subject-verb agreement. Multiple, plural subject, plural verb, singular subject, singular verb. You know that already, but just pay attention to that. And to you, oh, by the way, it is terrorism, not terrorism. Okay, terrorism. Terrorism, not terrorism. And to you, my dear.
Just before you move from Mary is Rohingya. The place, those people in Myanmar, okay? They are called the Rohingya people. I can't even, my brain cannot process what you called it. What was it you called it? Okay, let's forget it. No, let's not remind the universe. I don't know what you said. It took me a while to what is Mary saying? But because you mentioned Myanmar, I knew you were referring to the Rohingya refugees who suffered. So bear that in mind.
Yes. To you, Chimerenme, it is themselves. There is nothing like their self. Okay?
Which you
the reflexive pronoun. The reflexive pronoun is themselves. It is not even themselves. It is themselves. Okay? There is nothing like their self. Never. That is sacrilege. Okay? You do not say their self. All right? It is themselves. And when you use themselves, it must be in the plural all the time, because you're referring to more than one.
You can say it though if we want to take a trip to Wazobia, our sister station.
Then you can go there and say You can go there and say. Now, you were referring to an event in the past that took place in the past. And the rule is, if you must refer to an event that took place in the past, you must use the past tense of the verb throughout the sentence, except in a case where you want to refer to something in the present. So you were referring to a time in Nigeria's history when, it was the military regime and people were not allowed to express themselves. And then you said that they were not allowed, they think, instead of saying what they thought. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's you've caught it now. So next time it won't happen again. And so the same thing applies to you when it comes to subject-verb agreement. Government, singular. The government does not the government do not. Okay? The government does not. The same applies to when you say the censors. You did say something about, again, still comes down to the subject verb agreement. When you use the singular verb, when you use the singular subject, use the singular verb. When you use the plural subject, use the plural verb. You also said people is. It is people are. Yes, you did. It's okay. It's all right. What else would I like to point out? Yes, you were trying to ask a question, but the structuring of that question was quite ungrammatical. I did note that down, but I didn't get a chance to write down exactly what you said. But you were trying to ask, in what way does it not, but then you phrased it differently. That sounded, you know what I mean. So pay attention to that. Oh, and by the way, here is one. I did not hold it against you, but except for now when it has become culture, agenda is actually plural. It is plural in construct as it is. The singular form is agendum. Okay, it's a Latin word. Agendum is singular. Agenda, I know. But I did not hold it against you because it is now what we use, not just in Nigeria, but, generally, even in the media. We say agenda, okay, or agendas. But in the actual sense of the word, agenda is already plural, okay? So you say agendum, you say agenda, okay? But I did not hold that against you, so it's all right. To you, Mary, the verb advocate, or advocate in this case, is transitive. So you advocate the release, you advocate censorship, all right? You can be an advocate for censorship. However, again, because it is now what is more popular, many people say we can advocate for, which isn't exactly incorrect, and which is why I did not hold it against you, but I just wanted to point that out to you. It is the same rule that applies to order, okay? I'm ordering a bottle of drink, I'm ordering a plate of rice. You do not order for, you order. It is already transitive. The verb order is already transitive. However, you can place an order for. Okay, when you place an order, you can use for, but when you're ordering directly, you do not need for. Okay, just so you know. Either way, advocate or advocate for, you're correct. I just wanted to point that out to you the same way I wanted to point out agenda to you. But well done to both of you. This was truly a magnificent debate. Chimerenme, when you started, you looked like you were about to pass out, but you held your own, and that is something that I'm tremendously proud of. It's cold. Oh, my love, I am so sorry. Because I wonder why you were, shaking your hands furiously. I didn't realize it was because of the cold. Well, we'll turn it up a bit just so that, you won't feel too hot. You wouldn't feel too hot during the debate. Because things do get intense as they did here. So well done to both of you again. Great job. We are waiting for the judges now to... I see that the judges are sending in their results already.
It is decision time.
It is actually decision time.
And as we will read out the verdict of the judges, it's a collective score. We have the breakdown, but we'll just give the collective score. We are 5 minutes away from our cutoff time. So let's get to it. Presentation round. Chimerenme, a total of 72.5 points. Mary, a total of 89 points.
And now to the rebuttal rounds. Mary, 66.5 points. Chimerenme, 34 points.
For the closing rounds, Mary, 46 points. Chimerenme, 28 points.
And now, to style, Mary, 33 points. Chimerenme, 25.5 points.
For your diction infractions, there is a subtraction of 2.5 points for Mary and a subtraction of 3.5 points for Chimerenme. It brings the total figure to Chimerenme 154.5 points total, and Mary 232 points total. Congratulations to Mary, Uke, Ashia. You go automatically to the second round of this debate. We will find out in what position in just a bit to determine whether you were the more impressive of the two debaters we've seen today. It would have an impact on what happens. Okay, it will have an impact on what happens in the next round, who you get to face. You've already progressed. Congratulations. So let's see how the judges have voted. I'd like to start with Judge Ama. At this point, we're looking at who the top debater of the day is. We will come back to who gets the wild card later. Top debater for Judge Ama, Mary Ashia. Top debater for Chief Judge Chike, Mary. Top debater for Judge Elizabeth Adenike. Top debater for Judge Ufoma, Mary. Same as for Judge Yvonne Okhaifo. So congratulations in order once again. You progress as the top debater for today. It affects who you meet in the next round. Your debate, I presume, will be on Monday.
That's correct.
All right. Brilliant. And now we come to the hard part to determine who gets the wild card and who gets evicted from this debate today. Chimerenme lost this debate, as did Etomi Bernard in the first debate. So one of you will be kept in this debate by the judges. The other, unfortunately, will exit the debate. This is how our judges have decided. Judge Ama, the wild card to stay on goes to Etomi Samuel Bernard. Judge Elizabeth, the wild card goes to Chimerenme Eberebe. Judge Chike, his wild card goes to Etomi Samuel Bernard. Judge Ufoma and of course Judge Yvonne go the same way, Etomi Bernard. So at this point, Bernard is left in the debate. I'm afraid to inform you, Chimerenme, you've done brilliantly well. And I know deep down in your heart, you know you did the best you could under the circumstances. But there's also a part of you that feels that, on another day, in another setting, under different circumstances, maybe there is more you could have brought. But I cannot ask for more. You gave it your all. Debates are the way they are. Sometimes you have a great topic or a great side. It doesn't matter. It's a debate. I'm going to say you've blessed us with your presence and that very spirited debate. There were high moments for me that I liked.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And you can be proud of what you've done.
Yes. We also have the polls, the results from the polls here. So 47% voted for Mary to win the debate today. While to
47?
stay, 47% voted for Mary to win.
Okay. So does that mean 60? What does that mean?
47% voted for Mary to win. 30% voted for Chimerenme Eberebe. However, 23% voted for a Tommy Bernard Richard. I'm not sure why they did that, but I guess they mistook they mistook both polls. They mistook this for the polls about voting to retain a wild card. But here, the second result here shows that 45.6% voted for Chimerenme, for the judges to pick Chimerenme as the wild card.
Okay. And so what percentage did the other...
22.8%, while 31.6% voted for Mary to win.
So, well, this kind of renders the polling ineffectual. And that's because it's the positions have been conflated. Mary does not reflect in the wild card vote.
Exactly.
So I guess it's also a case for us to consider to try and maybe there's some clarifications that need to be made to our audiences subsequently. We didn't have these.
No, we did, because in the first debate, it didn't. We didn't have this.
No, we didn't have this
drama.
We didn't have this yesterday.
No, we didn't.
So I guess maybe it's just a conflation of which what vote goes where. So it's understandable. We'll take it as it is, and we'll say congratulations to all who have qualified. Just so you know how the next pairings will go in the next debate, I may just as well.
Yes, because I have the topics here, by the way.
Yes, the topics will be released. Simultaneously to you and your opponent, so that you can start your preparations at the same time. Will be released today to you and your opponent. I would that is out of the way. I just wanted to give you an idea of how the next debates, who your opponent will be. Give me a quick second. Okay, here we are. Good. So in the next round, Mary, you will be going up against the wild card from yesterday. The wild card from yesterday was Afolari. You go up against Afolari in that debate tomorrow. And Tommy Bernard will go up against the best debater from yesterday's debate. That will be Excel. And the other winner of today's earlier debate, Adenike, will go up against the second winner from yesterday's debate. That will be Charles Akilo. Charles and Adenike.
It will be fireworks.
It will be fireworks.
It will
Have
be.
we seen them before?
Yes, we
in
have.
the regional.
Oh, yes, we did.
Did they go head to head in the regional?
No, they did not.
That will be something.
They didn't go head to
Okay.
head. Charles competed in I beg to differ, season 6.
Yes.
Adenike competed
season
in
7.
season 7.
Interesting. That would be a powerful debate to see. Beautiful. And at this stage, you can be sure that all the remaining debates will be powerful. Wait for the second rounds for sparks to fly. So what is yet to come in the I Beg to Differ students debate? Tomorrow, you get to meet some of your contestants from the Port Harcourt zone. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and of course, Thursday. And they will be going up against some of those who have competed also in the region, in the Lagos regionals. All of that tomorrow. The likes of Minanengi Ofori David, and the likes of what's the name of my good friend Demilade, the likes Demilade Oluwalade, the likes of Ayomide, the likes of Fortune, the likes of Mercy, the champion of season 7. You'll get to see her tomorrow, and also Favor and Delight. There will be a lot of fireworks coming tomorrow in these debates. Thank you, ladies, for coming, and special thanks to you, Chimerenme, as you exit. I always like to have this conversation since you are here. How do you feel? Do you feel you gave it your all? No. Okay. You feel you could have done better?
Yes, but I am a bit...
Come close to the microphone.
I am a bit relieved.
Okay.
Because of the pressure, right?
Yes.
Maybe not.
And also because of the lack of sleep. Like I've been reading through the night.
Going through a lot of research and whatnot. Well done. You were truly brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed you. I enjoyed your comeback. I enjoyed your rebuttal. And I enjoyed your... When you said, answer me. She said, answer me.
I enjoyed your rebuttal.
I enjoyed it.
As well as your closing rounds too. So, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
When she said, so answer me with her piece of... Answer me.
and I kind of feel that up against most debaters,
she would have.
You would be
them out.
It's on in the flesh.
She
You
would have.
understand? As well,
when it came up against the government,
Mary,
it's hard to win. It is hard to win against the government.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't even debate her. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Yvonne. I totally enjoyed your conversation with Joyce earlier today, reviewing the debates of the first few days. The reviews will continue. Everybody pitches in. Marianne, you heard her at 3 o'clock. And it's just beautiful the way the colleagues rally. Everybody listens to the I Beg to Differ students debate tournament. It holds the country on lockdown when it's on, and we are proud to be associated with it, to be the source of this major debate tournament for the country. It's an opportunity for us to say thank you to everybody.
That's correct.
Who makes it work, to our sponsors, to our host school, our host institution, tomorrow, to Fit to Fly.
Call to Fly.
Call to Fly. What is wrong with me?
And of course, Alaya Foods.
Alaya Foods. Thank you very much for the meals and the refreshments. And to those other sponsors and partners who we're glad we're receiving calls on a daily. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to onboarding every single one of you. And we even have other flying partners now, and which is a beautiful thing. You'll hear more in the days to come. Special thanks to all our team members who have made it happen. Emmanuel Elefizi Abimbola led the Abuja region qualifiers, the delegation. Gabriela Daniel led the Port Harcourt team here, but you'll get to see them tomorrow. But it's beyond these two individuals. Special thanks to Prince Daniel Abuki, who is the program director for our group of radio stations. Every Cool FM station, every Wazobia FM station, every Nigeria Info station, every Kids FM station, because Kids FM is growing in leaps and bounds. Get ready for Kids FM Port Harcourt. Get ready for Kids FM Abuja. Also Arewa Radio. who is presently in Abuja, also making sure that I beg to differ lands on everybody's table. Also, Carl Orakwe is a programs manager, Nigeria Info in Port Harcourt. Also, Sheriff Quadri, programs manager at headquarters, Nigeria Info, is also literally executive producer running around. I can't even call him executive because executive producers don't do much. But he is a producer. Without Sheriff and Yvonne and what they put into it every day during the tournament, I have no clue how it will happen. But it's not just them. It's everybody in production. Timmy and his crew, Onyeka, and the rest of the guys. Thank you very much. Tunde leading our multicast broadcast department. Tunde Abdul Salam, I greet you. Same as the other guys. Ken, Olamide, Sam,
Onyeka.
Yes, and everybody who continues to contribute. Thank you to all our judges, Judge Chike, Judge Ama, Judge Elizabeth, Judge Ufoma, and to my brilliant co-moderator, Yvonne Okhaifo.
Thank you very much, Femi. Bearing whatever unforeseen circumstance, the debate will commence at exactly 4 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you so much for sticking with us today. Have a wonderful evening until tomorrow.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.